everybody, and welcome to another episode of Insufficient Friends. I'm Kevin. She's Stevie.
Hi.
And, Steve?
Yeah?
It's the start of a new year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're not recording it in the new year, but it's the start of a new year.
But do you want to tell them what you told me a few minutes ago?
It's our last podcast in the same room. Mm-hmm. We're not going to be, well, I can't say we'll never, because we might visit or something, but it's our last time recording in, like, the same space. Mm-hmm. Because, you know, we're, like, a foot and a half away from each other or something. Yeah. So, yeah, it's going to be a big change. But
I don't know if it'll make that much of a difference. I hope not. Where do you think you will still sit here for your recording?
I mean, I'll probably sit still in the same place. I might, like, move the angle that it's pointing at or something. But I don't plan on moving. Because this will probably stay set up.
Okay, that was more my question.
But yeah, we're going to have to go to... We're not stopping. Mm-mm. We're just changing some things as Steve moves to St. Louis. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, big changes. Mm-hmm. And
in the last couple episodes, we talked about how, like, kind of everything's happening at once, and it just kind of feels like I can't catch a break.
Yeah. And
I mentioned how, like, this would be a terrible time for, like, something to happen with my car.
Oh, we're good.
Nothing happened with my car, but something did happen to me literally last night.
Okay.
And it's 1,000% my fault. I just simply didn't think about what I was doing. So we're obviously packing up everything, and I had this, like, art on the wall, and it had, like, 3 candle holders in it.
Okay.
And I had little candles in it, but they were, I had put rice, like, halfway up just to hold the little candle.
Okay.
Just so it wasn't, anyway. Last night I was emptying the rice. Mm-hmm. Why I didn't think to put it in the trash can, I don't know. I put it in the sink.
Okay.
And then I realized, I shouldn't have done that. So it's all over the sink. So I start, like, scooping it out into the trash. But it was like 3, sphere-shaped
it's a good amount of rice.
I thought, I wasn't going to get it all in the trash can. Let me just take it over to the sink, thinking I was being smart. And I got probably, like, half of it into the trash can.
Okay.
The rest, fell down the drain, and I thought, no worries. Rice goes in the sink all the time. Like, literally 10 minutes later, the sink is just, it's not, none of the water's going down.
Yeah.
And Will looks at me, and he's like, you did not do this. And I said, I might have done this. So he's just, like, running the garbage disposal. I'm like, don't do that. You're going to mess it. Like, it's not working. Stop doing that. And then he's like, would you like to fix it? Because you did this. And I said, I don't know how to fix it. And, like, literally, it was so gross. And I'm really bad with that stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, so thank God Will was there. But then he got under there. He had to, like, take out, I don't even know what you would call it. Like, the white pipe.
Yeah.
Where the rice was just stuck. It was literally just dry rice stuck in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's like, obviously that was the issue. So he dumps that out, and oh my God, it still kind of smells bad from last night. It was a wreck. And in that moment, I just thought,
well, at least it wasn't.
Happen right now.
Yeah. At least it was fixable.
Yes, quickly. But, like, if he wasn't there, you'd have been getting a call at 7 p.m. last night. I'd been like, what do I do? Or my dad. Like, someone would have had to come help me. It was terrible.
Oh, yeah. I don't know, Steve. You live and learn, I guess.
I guess, but it was, like, of course. In that moment, I thought, this better be the last thing I have to deal with.
Yeah. There'll probably be, there'll be something, I'm sure.
Right, but like, just get me to, like, the next weekend, and I will be happy. Just without any more, like, big issues that aren't, even if something breaks, I don't care at this point. I would throw anything that I own away right now to not have anything seriously, like, messed up that will be an expensive issue. I'm just trying to avoid spending more money.
Yeah,
yes.
And I get that.
Thought, we're going to have a plumber come or the apartment's going to charge me. I didn't know what was going to happen, but thankfully it was somewhat of an easy fix.
Well, that's good. Mm-hmm. That's, that's...
And might I add, I was making a sandwich during this.
Why were you... Okay.
Because it was dinner time.
Oh, that's right.
We were, like, cooking, and then we realized the sink wasn't working. And it was in our toaster oven, and it dinged while Will was, like, fixing it. And I was like, I'm going to go ahead and eat this. So I
Get
also
the sandwich.
was eating my sandwich, yeah.
As Will's trying to fix something.
He said I could. I don't think I could have helped, honestly, in that moment.
Probably not.
So,
but
it is what it is.
I think you'd helped enough by that point.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But, yeah. I don't...
Should we say when we're filming this?
Because yeah, we're filming it just...
Christmas Eve.
We're filming it Christmas Eve.
Yeah, we're kind of stacking episodes right now. And
because Steve's moving and we're doing other stuff. But we record... The last 2 weeks episodes we recorded yesterday.
Yeah.
Back to back.
So we're really running out of stuff.
And we're kind of low on things to talk about. Right now, it's Christmas Eve, like she just said.
And
it's like 50 degrees outside. And it doesn't... Me and my mom went to dinner last night, and we were talking. It does not feel like Christmas.
No. And we've kind of said that on a few episodes, like, why is it that it doesn't really feel like it this year? And I think the weather isn't helping, but for me, I just can't focus on it. There's so
you're
many
doing
other
other things, yeah,
going on. I don't know, but it feels like everyone's thinking that too. You know what I mean? Which they're not, but that's just like I can't even imagine how anyone right now, because like truly, like obviously Will is in kind of the same boat as me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and,
well,
like,
you guys.
My dad's gonna have to help me move, and so it just feels like there's too many other things happening for Christmas to even partake, which makes me sad because I love Christmas, but this year it feels like I'm gonna have to be like
you're skipping Christmas almost, yeah,
like a couple hours of Christmas and then I have to get back to real life.
Yeah, it's just the way it is sometimes.
Do you prefer? I think I know the answer, but you would prefer to have like a white Christmas and like it be cold and snowy and you have to like.
I mean,
because I don't mind this. I would love a 60-degree Christmas every year.
I mean, I don't really care. It doesn't really bother me that it's we don't get white Christmases that much. It's not something that's ingrained in my head, so I don't really care. Like it doesn't make a difference to me. I think that would make it feel more like Christmas just because that's what you build up in your head, but it doesn't necessarily, do anything for me.
Yeah, if I didn't have a ton of stuff to do and I was just gonna stay at home on Christmas, I'd want it to be like snowing and really cold and like put a fire on, something like that. But right now I don't mind because I have to be out and about.
Yeah, it's a bad time. It's not. Luckily for you, it's kind of warmish. So moving, because I've moved in, like 20-degree weather and it's not fun.
And I haven't even looked. I'm not going to look at the weather for the day I'm actually supposed to physically move. But I'm just everyone put it out there that it's going to be somewhat nice.
Yeah. Well, going away from something that everybody is now 2 weeks past, we should probably talk about something new for.
That's true.
For this year, instead of something that's in the past when people are listening to this. So 2024.
Yeah.
We talked last week about what was out in 2023. Do you have anything that you're planning for 2024? Anything big?
I mean, just making it.
You're
getting through it.
You're starting. Do you have any? Because after this comes out, like when this is coming out, you're getting ready to start a new job. This
will probably be like the day before I start.
Yeah. So, do you have any reservations about that? Like, this is your first real, like, not saying that you haven't had real jobs. It's your first full-time, like, real job as an adult. You've been in college. You've been in school. Like, this is your first.
Right. I think, and we talked about this last episode, but I think kind of what I learned this year, I had basically the opposite. It was like the first time in my life in a long time I had a very flexible, free schedule, and I could kind of do whatever I wanted whenever.
Yeah.
And there was, like I mentioned, there were still times where I was like, well, life's not perfect. There's still so many things that I wish I could fix about ABC, whatever. So I feel like, and I always thought that because my whole life up until then, I was always like, go, 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 go. And my schedule was kind of already so predetermined, whether that was in high school and I had work and dance all the time. I never really got to just like go home at 5 o'clock and do whatever I wanted, you know? And then same thing, really, working part-time. You know, work ends at 5:36, whatever, but I always had
go home and do homework
or I had to wake up really early because of class, or I had to go back and forth, you know, from work to school all day, which is just terrible.
Yeah.
So this was really the first year I had so much freedom, and
so I guess you're going back to more normal what you had with school then.
Right, but the point is, like, I always thought, oh, if I have this schedule, I can do whatever I want. I'd just be so happy, everything would be perfect, and it wasn't.
No.
So I think what I've learned is that, I mean, I'm obviously stressed over the normal things, like meeting the new people and just being the new person. No one wants to be the new person.
Yeah.
But I think I'm glad I went through this past year and realized that, because I would have been really anxious about feeling like I had no time for myself working full time. But I've kind of worked full time, just not at work, but I've been a very busy person from the hours that someone would work 5 to 9 or, you know, whatever. So yeah, I mean, I don't, time wise and schedule wise, I don't think it's going to take that much of a toll on me. But being new is hard. I'm really nervous about that. I hate being a new person. I hate being the one that, like, doesn't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
But obviously, no one expects me to.
Well, no one expects you to know exactly, like, everything the first day. So that's what training and everything else is for. So you'll be fine. You'll be doing good.
I hope so.
Are you you're also going to Disney, which is like, you're going to stay at Universal.
We're going to Disney.
You're going to I thought you were staying at Universal.
I don't know where we're staying, but we're doing both.
Okay, but you're going to both.
Yeah.
Which is one of my favorite places. As we all know that I am a Disney adult and you know, a big child. Are you excited for anything in particular?
You know, I get confused on what's in what park.
Okay.
And I don't know if we can go to everything. Obviously, if I could choose, I want to see the Alice in Wonderland stuff, because that's my favorite Disney movie.
Disney. Mm-hmm.
That's in Disney, okay. Obviously, but I mean, I just don't know, because Disney has multiple parks, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I don't know we're only doing Disney one day, so I doubt we're going to make it to all of them. But if in a dream world, we'd go see Alice in Wonderland, I would go see Cinderella. I don't know if that's going to happen, because the line's usually very long. And it's not really fun. It's just like a meet and greet. It's not like a ride or anything.
No, you're just going to meet her.
Yeah. But I am, besides that, you know, because I can appreciate the Harry Potter stuff. I'm not huge into Harry Potter. So that doesn't excite me too much. Same with like Star Wars stuff.
Star Wars is Disney. So
yeah. And I will probably go, but it's not what I'm
that's at a different park.
But we're going to Disney.
Yeah, I know.
What I'm saying.
But there's 4 parks.
I understand.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, like, I don't know. We don't have a schedule picked out. So we might, if I had to guess, we'll go to Star Wars, because Will wants to go to Star Wars.
Okay.
And then somewhere else at Disney, but I don't know yet. But I won't care too much if we go see Star Wars. That'll just be like, okay, that's another thing. Checked it off the list, but it wasn't my priority. I'm really just excited for trying different foods that I've seen people have while, like, walking through the parks.
Okay.
Drink around the world. I know we all want to do that. That's probably going to be, like, the first thing we do.
Okay. That's a rough one.
That's in Epcot? Okay. I mean, I don't know what this says about us, but we've probably done something quite similar in our lives already. So I think we can handle it.
It's possible, but it's a little bit different doing it around a park like that.
Sure, we'll have to think about things and pace ourselves. When I say it's the first thing we do, I don't mean that.
Yeah,
obviously,
I know.
We can't do that right in the morning, but it will probably be something we want to do the first day that we're there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I know there's some restaurants we're gonna try, which will be fun.
Okay.
But I don't really know that much. Like, I don't know what rides I would want to do. I just know what I did as a kid, and those are probably not the rides I'm gonna do now.
Well, where your Star Wars land is that park has some of the best rides.
Okay.
It has some of the best rides.
Good
and
to know.
Epcot has one of the newest and best roller coasters.
Okay.
So you're good with those 2 parks. You can meet Alice in Epcot.
Really?
Yes, but there is not an Alice in Wonderland area.
Okay.
There's not really an Alice in Wonderland area. There's a teacup ride in Magic Kingdom. That's the only real Alice in Wonderland ride.
But I have pictures with Alice, Tweedledee and Tweedledum, and the
Mad Hatter and stuff.
Mad Hatter.
Yeah. So they don't greet a whole lot.
And the Queen of Hearts.
They don't greet a whole lot. Usually Alice is the only one out and around anymore.
But they were probably just walking, because I don't really remember.
That's possible, yeah.
I didn't actually meet.
But you don't even see. I very seldom have ever seen videos or anything of the Mad Hatter or the Queen of Hearts or Tweedledee and Tweedledum meeting if it's not like Halloween or like the Christmas party, which is at like night and now.
Well, it's gonna be my mission.
But you can meet Alice, I know, in Epcot in the UK area. So.
Yeah. I don't know if is that weird, like, as an adult to be like, oh my gosh, that's when it's like clearly just, because that's a costume.
Well,
that's
yeah,
not
but
like,
it is.
It's not even like Cinderella's a person that's dressed up as Cinderella, so it's like kind of fun. But Alice is just like a costume,
what's
right?
What's the difference between Alice?
She's just, it's almost like a mascot. The pictures I have, even with like Tweedledee and Tweedledum and the Queen of Hearts, it's not like a person's face with makeup on. It's like a mascot head.
Yeah.
And like but Cinderella's like a person.
Yeah, Alice is too.
Alice is too.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Mad Hatter is not. He's a person too. But Tweedledee and Tweedledum, since they're like in the Queen of Hearts, since they're so cartoony, they're made as like characters.
Okay.
Whereas Alice and the Mad Hatter are both. They're people.
Well, I'll try to get a picture if I see any of those people.
Yeah.
Can you just walk up to them and get a picture?
Yeah, there's usually like a line or something. There might be like a little line to meet them, and you just look in your app and it'll tell you what times they meet.
Oh, okay. I do think the day we're going to Disney, we're getting the fast passes as well.
Okay.
Because which I will be fine to spend the extra money on. I've had a fast pass at Six Flags before, and it's life-changing.
It's so much nicer to just be able to skip all the lines.
Fine by me. I'll do it. Especially if we want to try to get to multiple parks. I feel like we have to.
Yeah. Just make sure you watch something to know how it works, because it can be very.
Well, I mean, we will, but also Will's mom has gone to Disney very much more recently than us, and in her adult life multiple times.
Okay.
So I feel like we have a good person.
Oh, she's going with you?
It's all three of us.
Oh, okay. Well, then you'll be fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's because the systems to like skip the lines can be kind of a pain sometimes at Disney, but
I'm sure.
But Universal's their skip the line system is really easy. So
nice.
I think you'll have fun. But the princesses and stuff are, of course, always Disney.
Yeah, that is.
Which you're the princess. Yeah, you want
that. That'll mean a lot to me.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting because obviously Will and I grew up watching very different Disney movies.
Yeah.
And so we'll see how that goes. But obviously I will let you know probably in the next episode.
Yeah.
Or before, I don't know.
I'm sure we'll talk about it at some point.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, I guess we'll just. I don't really have anything else to talk about.
This will be maybe a shorter.
So this is probably going to just be a shorter episode because I don't have anything else to talk about.
That's probably normal considering we just talked for like 2 hours yesterday.
Yeah. So Titanic.
Yes.
We didn't say that last week. We're sorry. We forgot.
We had a day to watch it.
We had a day to watch the movie, so it is what it is. So we came up with a movie that we both have seen and that most of you have probably seen. Mm-hmm. Titanic, 1997. Mm-hmm. I am enamored by the Titanic.
Yeah.
The movie's good, but just the ship in general, just the the history of it and everything. So I'm interested in the whole thing, and I think the movie's good. I mean, it's done very well. It was a blockbuster, It's of course a very, very interesting movie. There's little bits and pieces in it that throw back to like actually what happened and like the problems that they did have. I do know that this is one of your movies that you say don't watch with a family member because there's a couple scenes in it that you don't want to watch with a family member. But
probably not.
What do you think? Because it's a pretty iconic movie.
Yeah, I mean, I watched it when I was younger, and I think I kind of always thought it was a little boring, just because I was probably too young to really be like super enamored, as you said, by it. But I mean, the cast is great, and I like to watch it now more than I did.
Yeah.
And I love Leonardo DiCaprio, but it does like stress me out because I know.
You know what happens.
One of those movies where it makes me really nervous.
I can see where it would be like where you would consider it boring, because the first, I mean, until the ship hits the iceberg, it.
If you don't know
that the Titanic hit an iceberg and sank,
first day on Earth.
Yes. It is kind of slow. Like it's a very just kind of a love story up to that point, and then it's still a love story, but it gets, of course, more intense as the ship's sinking. But yeah, I just think the whole the Titanic in general is just a interesting story, an interesting thing. There's a lot of conspiracy theories around it too, like that it actually didn't sink, or that one of the other ships sank, and there's just so much weird stuff with it too. So,
do you have like a favorite part, or just a part that sticks out to you the most, being one of your favorite movies?
Oh, I don't know that I consider it one of my favorite movies.
Oh, I just assumed that because you like the Titanic.
No, I think the Titanic's interesting. I don't know that I would consider this one of my favorite movies. Oh. It's a good movie.
My questions.
But I don't. Stand. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything in particular. I think one of the scenes that I think is really telling is is an interesting like ideal of how people acted back in the day and stuff, is when the captain goes and locks himself into the bridge as the ship's going down, and then the water just basically floods in and kills him. But it's, and just the concept of like, you've got all the different scenes where like they're talking about how it can't sink and how it's, let's hurry up, let's go faster so that we can make it on time. And if they wouldn't have been going that fast, then maybe they wouldn't have sank, or they would have had time to switch course, or it's just, there's just so much about it that's crazy. And I like cruises too, so going on a ship, you think about that as a possibility, but things have entirely changed since back then too. So
right. I don't think I could really, and I still don't think I understand, just because I've never been on a cruise, and after all, it is just a movie. But I don't think I can comprehend what it would actually be like, the amount of people that are on this ship that now have to jump into the water and like try to survive. Like, I don't think you could tell me the number, but I don't think I could actually comprehend it unless I was there and was like, oh, that's a lot of freaking people.
Well, let's, you went to college. You know those big residence halls you sit in, right?
Sure.
Okay. So 3 of those full of people is, how many people died.
Okay. That's how many people died?
That's how many people died.
And how many people didn't die?
Another 1.5 of those rooms.
Okay, that puts it into more perspective. That's morbid.
So yeah, almost 3 times as many people died as survived that shipwreck.
Okay.
But yeah, it's and they've changed a lot of things since then. You have more lifeboats and things like that. But and nowadays you have even more. The Titanic had a little over 2,000 passengers. Nowadays you have
way more.
6,000 people on a ship. So it's the ships are a lot bigger, and they're a lot more advanced too. So they can change course and stuff a little bit easier. But it's it was a tragedy for sure.
Yeah, it's honestly a very sad movie.
Yeah,
very sad. I hate the part. Oh, it gives me so much anxiety when like the water's rising and Leo's character is like trying to grab something. I forget what it is, but it's like walking through that room when the water's like getting to the roof. I hate thinking about that.
Oh, that's when they're locked downstairs and he's trying to get the keys to unlock the gate, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. It's a
hate it.
And I'm sure there was, I don't know for sure that there was instances like that. Of course, it's a movie, but there could have been.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there was a lot of very much, you know, you're in this class back then. And, there was a lot of people in the lower classes definitely died at a larger
wasn't prioritized
rate, than everybody else. But anyway, so on that note, I guess we'll wrap up for this week. Next week we're going to watch
Lord of the Rings.
The Fellowship of the Ring, right? Which is the first one.
Yes.
Okay. So I've never seen that, so that'll be interesting. Have you seen that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I guess watch it with us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share with friends, and we'll talk to you next week.
Bye.